It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Jalen Pitre should be next.
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what I say. Hard work, work, work. Earn my pay. Hard work, work. Hard work, do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work, work. Let me go and earn my pay. Hard work, work. Boots on.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. Texans happy hour. Hold on for a second. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the tick and the talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And make sure you are subscribed to the Locked On Texans podcast and to the Locked On Texans YouTube page. What's going on, Marcus? What's going on, Tate? What's going on, everybody out there? Hey, look. Hey, I gotta see it. I gotta see it. Because ain't nobody else gonna see it. Let's Sarge see it. Hey, how much money you think corporate America lost today with the start of March Madness? What's up, H-Town Dre? Illy Woogie, what's going on? Well, how much money you think corporate America lost today? They had to lose a lot of money. I know they had to lose a lot of money. I mean, with the start of March Madness, ain't nobody doing no work. And especially since U of H played today, U of H, I don't even know who they played. SLIM Edwardsville. I don't know. The Salukis, I don't know. I don't know who they played. I just knew that whoever they played, they didn't have a chance. Like I knew they didn't have a chance. Then last I looked, they was up by 35 points. Let me see what the final score was, y'all. Let me see what the final score was. The final score was, oh, they played a team called SIUE. I thought President Trump got rid of all the acronyms. I thought President Trump said he didn't want DEI, he didn't want CRT, he didn't want LGBTQIA. He didn't want none of that. He didn't want the ABCs. He don't want the ABCs taught in school. I thought President Trump got rid of all of that. Who is SIUE? Is it got to do something with Southern Illinois? Anyway, the final score was University of Houston 78 and SI. You know what? I don't want to do them wrong. Let me see who these people are. I just keep getting the same thing. SIUE. Can somebody help me out? I have not a clue who they are. I have not a clue. McNeese is beating Clemson 31-13. A 12 seed beating a 5 seed. Side note, hey, McNeese's coach, right? McNeese's coach got hired by NC State, right? This is why I don't never have a problem with the NIL. Get paid, young. Get paid. Get paid, young. Get paid. Get paid. The coach is gonna do it. The coach is gonna do it. So why not? If the coaches can do it, why not? Why the players shouldn't be able to do it? But McNeese is up on Clemson 31-13. They're a 12 seed. Clemson is a 5 seed. Oh, wow. Creighton upset Louisville, if that's an upset. I guess. I don't know. Y'all want to lie, y'all want the truth right now. Which one y'all want? Y'all want to lie, y'all want the truth. What's up, Ricky? What's up, H-Town Dre? Hey, y'all want to lie, y'all want the truth. Okay. I'm going to give y'all the truth, all right? I don't know if you can handle the truth. I don't watch a lot of men's college basketball. There it is. I said it. Little confused. Little offended you got me confused last night on H-Time. Bro, hold on. Why do you have to make it about you? I call him White Mike too. You think you're the only White Mike? I call him White Mike too. And he watches the show as well. Did you not hear what I said? You ain't the only White Mike. Little offended. Hey man, side note though, Mike. Hey, uh uh Mike, hey, how's your son doing? How's your son doing? He went to basic training, right? For those of y'all who don't know, hey, look, Mike's a really good guy, man. Mike's a really good guy. Mike got his invitation to the barbecue long time ago, and so Mike is one of Mike is like us. Mike is like us. Mike is like us. What's up, White Mike? What should I call you, White Mike Senior? Call the other Mike, White Mike Junior. I don't know. I I I don't know. Oh, trying to get 3 pounds on him so he can get in. Ah, that's right. So he's on a delayed entry program. Uh, Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. Where in the hell is that? Ricky, where is that? Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. Is that like being Lone Star College, the Cypress campus? Is that like being Houston Community College, Spring Branch campus? I don't know. What does that mean? What and how do they got a basketball team? Oh, they like Texas A&M Kingsville. I'm that, and that's not a joke. I'm being serious, right? That's like Texas A&M Kingsville. Cause I've never Senior Bubbly. I've never heard of Southern Illinois University Edwardsville at all. Y'all sipping on. Hell, y'all didn't go to work. So don't act like you at work right now. I know y'all stayed at home, called in so y'all could watch the game, especially so you could watch what you call it? Uh give me 1 second. Oh, okay. Hold on for a second. Okay. I am doing it now. It's how things happen, y'all, in real time. In real time, this happens. Give me 1 second. Y'all give me. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can make some shake real quick, y'all. We supposed to have Brandon Scott on today from Sports Radio 610 and the B Block podcast. I got your number already. But there's some technical difficulties that we're having. So I might be able to get y'all another guest on here. Let me see if I can get y'all another guest on here. There we go. All right. Let me see. I might be able to get us another guest on here that could be something y'all definitely want to hear. Give me 1 second. All right. So it's beluga time on this end. Well, what does that mean? Pretty much, I mean, not as crazy as University of Houston Central location, Pearland campus. That college got 3 whole cities. Hold on, wait. Hey, wait, this is funny. This is funny because I said I didn't know where Southern Illinois University Edwardsville is. I don't know, but Rick is right. So that's University of Houston Clear Lake Pearland campus. That college got 3 whole city names in it. Wait, Marcus driving through College Station currently. Oh wait, Tay. All right, Tay. I'm gonna pray for you. I got you. I'm gonna pray. Hold on, y'all give me a second, man. I'm trying to make something happen right here. I'm trying to make something shake real quick. Uh, see if he's gonna be able to hop on. All right. Once again, tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge Show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. This is the Texans Happy Hour. You see where I say that Jalen Pitre should be next. Hey, what's going on, Uncle James? Where I said Jalen Pitre should be next, and we'll get into that in just a second. But I have to say this, right? I have to say this. Hold on. curious if it's ever possible to get position coaches on your podcast. I'm gonna start calling. Can I call you WMS? No, that stands for women's. White Mike Senior. Just hold on. Big Sarge got something coming down the pipeline real soon. It's Katie Pearland, Conroe Woodland Sugarland Cut and Shoot University. Oh, that is wild. That is wild. All right. So, like I said, once again, you tuned into the Texans Happy Hour right here on the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. We're going to talk about Jalen Pitre should be next with the contract extension for Derek Stingley Jr., who signed a 3-year, $90 million extension with $89 million of that guaranteed on Wednesday. Well, he signed it, but on Wednesday we got an opportunity to speak with him. And so we'll get into that in just a second. But, before I get into talking about the Houston Texans, right? Oh, well, I might as well do it now. No better time hold on for a second, y'all. My guy, can you hear me?
What's going on, brother?
Big Game James. Now, James, I didn't tell the people that you were coming on, so you're going to have to introduce yourself. That I can do a great job. Hey, y'all, let me just do it. Big Game James, for those of you all don't know, for as long as I've been doing a Sports Talk with Big Sarge show, when I had my own show on the radio, Big Game James would come on once a week. You blurring out, James? Are you doing something over there you ain't supposed to be doing?
I'm on vacation and I got a bag in my room is junky, so I don't want everybody seeing it on my as bad.
I got you. But for as long, hey, listen, James has been a friend for me for a very, very, very long time. He has always come on the show as a guest. He's always available when I need him. And I got a chance to see him at the NFL Combine. Unfortunately, James covers the the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. All I know is y'all owe me a dinner.
We do.
And look, this is the second year in a row. Hey, look, 2 years ago, y'all wouldn't let me come with y'all because y'all had Anthony Richardson's people. I want to mix and mingle with Anthony Richardson's people too. I cover the AFC South. I want to mix and mingle with Anthony Richardson people too, but no, I couldn't get invited to that private party. But James, hey, and look, James is a former fullback for the Florida State Seminoles and played with the Saints, right?
Yeah, I was with New Orleans.
All right, James. But first, tell the people what you got going on first before we even get started, because I got questions.
Yeah. Well, we got over at Deal Media Group. We do all of our stuff. We cover college, and the pros about the Southeast. Obviously, we cover the AFC South, the Jaguars. I'm an NFL analyst for First Coast News over there in Jacksonville, Florida. So I get to travel, do Super Bowl, do a bunch of other different things, talk about the NFL, and I give takes, good, bad, and indifferent. I mean, some of them are popular. My producers have done a really good job of making me seem like an a-hole in 1 minute clips, and I love reading the comments of people who are telling me that I don't know ball. Like, you can't Google what my resume was. And it's cool. It's like I tell them all the time, I'm not going to argue with my imaginary friends on social media about things that are real and canonized. Like, my son yesterday, my son was watching me play games and asked me, why is it so grainy? So I feel old. So I mean, it was a long time ago, but basically if you go to Dead Media Group or follow me at Big Game James _36, you'll see a lot of the different things that we do and that we covered, and we talk about sports and the topics surrounding them. So a lot of times it's a lot like I love calling. I love the new climate because nothing brings me more pleasure than calling horribly mid white players DEI hires. Because that's exactly what they are. I just like Sam Darnold as a diversity, equity, and inclusion hire right there, and he's actually taking a job away from a qualified majority player, if you will, in that field. It's actually what they think DEI is, actually happens in the sporting world every day. But outside of that, man, that's kind of what we do. And I'm involved in sports and I love it. It changed my life.
Hey James, you know that the Houston Texans fans think that Trevor Lawrence is a DEI hire too.
Exactly. Listen, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Like I have a thing where it's gone viral, and Jacksonville Jaguar fans are like, they say you can tell he doesn't watch games. I'm like, bitch, I'm not bad.
No, you got so here. This got me say Texas happy hour. I have a whole cup, my boy.
I'm like this every Sunday. I'm literally on TV on one of the more popular news stations breaking down Jaguars. I unfortunately have to be in the box watching this mess. Yeah. I was in the box in Houston.
Yeah.
When we had it won. And I saw people walking away with 4 minutes left in the game. And I said, hey, it's a lot of game left, baby. Trust me. You want to stick this one out. We're going to figure out a way to lose. And as they did. But, Trevor has a ton of potential. That's the only thing I'll give him. But potential for people who play sports, all potential means is you ain't did shit yet. So like when you see it in my video, I say he was a bust for this season. We hear a word bust and we stop listening. All you heard was they thought I'm calling him a bust. He's not that yet. He's close, but he's not that yet. But he's got more talent in his pinky nail than Mac Jones does. But when Mac Jones came in, stats, you can look this up. Mac Jones won the same amount of games in less time with less opportunities. And he figured out how to throw the ball to Brian Thomas Jr., which is something that, they weren't doing very well. And if people say, well, he wasn't, how do you know? I said, besides watching it, we have Hard Rock here in the state of Florida. I found out very quick you can't use the Hard Rock app in Texas. I'm going to Houston every year, by the way. I had such a good time out there in Texas. I'm going to go out there every year. I like parlays, single game in-game parlays.
Yes.
And do you know who I did a lot of parlays with and who I did a lot of them with Brian Thomas Jr. So I got a chance to notice Brian Thomas Jr. not getting the ball in key situations because I had some, stupid money. It's like $1 to get 1,000, but that's not the point. Imagine almost getting $1,000 on a ridiculous parlay, and the only reason you didn't get it is because they decided that, you know what, I'm not going to throw it to our best wide receiver. I'm going to figure out how to throw it to Christian Kirk with five people around him. It's not very smart. That might be a little exaggeration, but it was more people over him. But I digress. Trevor can be good. They have no choice. They've invested their future into it. We got a weird coach and a weird GM that have also said that they're going to buy into it and they're going to give him every excuse. They're going to give him everything reason not to fail. Yeah. And if he fails, it's on him. But I said Doug Peterson, quarterback coach, quarterback guy. We had Jim Bob Cooter. He was a quarterback. And they filled the staff with quarterback guys offensively, on field and off field, and he still was not able to make that step. So maybe having a baby, maybe having some other things will change. His personal life will change and make him focus a little bit more on this. Babies change your life. It makes you want to make more money. Also, when you have an excuse not to be in the house, when the baby's crying and to change them diapers, you know what you tend to do? You focus in a little bit more on work. As a guy who's an entrepreneur, I got real busy when my babies when my babies came around. So I got the most active parts of my career with them because, hey, if I'm out the house, I ain't got to worry about changing diapers and hearing all this crying. And I might be able to catch a nap at work more than I would be able to at the house. So maybe these things will help Trevor. I'm not sure. Again, my life is easier when the Jags are better, but I've lived in Jacksonville since I got cut, since 2007. Yeah. They have been very bad my entirety of my career. I've covered the Jags for 10 years. In
That's
that 10
how I won
years,
my money from y'all. My dinners from y'all.
Right. They average 4 wins a season, and that's with 2 playoff runs. Yeah. So it's just as I say, it's easier to win a Super Bowl than to be as bad as the Jags have been consistently.
Well, hey, James, look, let me tell you something. Some, like you said, some people think that Trevor Lawrence is DEI. I think he's AI. Ever since I met him, I was like, I'm not gonna look him in the eyes because he looks like he's been cloned, or he looks like he doesn't look real to me in person. And I've seen him on multiple occasions. I just like, no, I don't want to interview this guy because he just doesn't look real. But James, because I don't want to interrupt your vacation for too long. But you know that the Houston Texans traded for Christian Kirk and just signed Cam Robinson. So I would like to start by talking about Cam Robinson and ending up with Christian Kirk, because I think that I would like to start with the bad and end with the better or the good. And so, James, a lot of people have been saying that, you know, they're happy that the Houston Texans signed Cam Robinson on Wednesday for, I think they gave him a 1-year deal, $12 million. It could go up to $14 million. And of course, he was with Jacksonville. He got drafted in Jacksonville in 2017 and then got traded to Minnesota after they lost their left tackle. And he finished the season with the Minnesota Vikings. And James, you watched him play. You watched Cam Robinson play. And I'm going to say this real quickly. I'm not too high on Cam Robinson because I did watch him play in Jacksonville. I don't think he's terrible, but I don't think he's great. I don't know if you really want him protecting your franchise quarterback. Like, it's cool to put him over there to protect Sam Darnold. I don't know if I would keep him there I don't know if I would bring him in to protect CJ Stroud. I call him a Timu Laramie Tunsil because Laramie is good. Laramie is really good at playing left tackle. I don't see Cam Robinson being a Laramie Tunsil. And that's why I say, hey, you remember the episode when Martin when Gina made Martin take them shoes back and he had to go get them air wax? That's what I look at. But James, tell me if I'm wrong or not, because there's a lot of Texans fans who believe in Cam Robinson and saying, "Oh, we got Cam Robinson, we got a good player." But for somebody who's covered him and who has watched him on a consistent basis, am I wrong? Look, am I on something or on to something?
No, you're on to something. And here's the reason why the Jags had to pay him after that first contract. There wasn't a lot of good guys in free agency at the left tackle position, and you were betting on his age. So you had a guy in his mid-20s that was a left tackle that was the market was going to demand, and you don't want to be wrong sometimes. So you pay him. And it was cheaper to keep him. The problem is he did not progress, and they brought in a guy who we probably should have went ahead and shifted over there to that left tackle spot in the draft, but you didn't. And then you got Walker Little, who you felt was going to progress. But I'll put it to you like this. We put Walker Little in that position when Cam got hurt, and then we also drafted. We did not notice that much of a difference. The line still stunk. So it's a thing where maybe he could be better, and that's what you're banking on because he still has the youth. He still has some flashes, but he's definitely not going to be a guy that that's going to make your offensive line exponentially better. In fact, I'd argue that that gives me a little bit more hope when we play you guys because we know what that guy could do. I liken it to but this is where it could be. You're a better organization, right? Yeah. I liken it to Jawan Taylor. Went to the Kansas City Chiefs, was a right tackle for the Jags. Jawan Taylor was absolutely horrible for the Jags. As a matter of fact, a lot of the league rules where the guy line, like they're looking at alignment for offensive linemen, is because of Jawan Taylor and the stems back. I used to be like, damn, he's back there with the running backs.
Hey, Laramie got flagged a lot for that at the beginning of the season, which pissed the Houston Texas fans off.
Yeah, so what you're doing, but he's definitely not Laramie Tunsil. I can promise you, if he's Laramie, man, I don't know. I already owe you one steak. But if he's Laramie Tunsil, then we're gonna eat good in when I get there. Yeah, he's by that time. I don't know when we play y'all in Houston, but if he's good and he's having a good run, by the time you tell me the steakhouse that we need to go to in Houston, and we're gonna go, and we're gonna go. Gotcha. I'm gonna take because again, you're doing well, and that's what you hope in free agency. Yeah. I'm just telling you from a Jacksonville Jaguars perspective. The only time I've ever seen him be tough, and we have damn, I can't even what's her name? She works for 1010 now, the station I used to work, and she used to work with me at First Coast News. I call her our pumpkin spice mommy. She's very white, very, very good at what she does. The only time I've ever seen Cam be mean and tough to somebody was when he was mean and tough to a female reporter that's 5 foot 90 pounds.
Gotcha.
That was I kid you not, the meanest I've ever seen an NFL offensive lineman was to a petite female reporter when she asked him, what do you feel about what people saying you're replaced by Walker Little? I saw the face get determined. Like he wanted to block her, but I haven't seen that on the football field. Like if I saw that mentality on the football field, I think the Jags would have won more games. But as far as that, I don't think he's that. But again, I say this, sometimes you need a change of environment, and if he leaves and he's like,
that's what I was. But that's what I was gonna say too, James, because like, and I said this on yesterday's show that
Mia O'Brien is the name. Again, if anybody ever wants to go look up Mia O'Brien interviewing Cam Robinson, it's hilarious to me as a former football player. Like he would never talk to me the way that he talked to Mia, and that's the problem. That's the problem for me. Yeah. Like if you talk to everybody the same way, oh, you might just be one of them tough guys.
Yeah.
But the only time I've ever seen him tough was dealing with a pumpkin spice princess and Mia O'Brien, a pilgrim, if you know how to call it, just a pilgrim. Yeah. But like that's the only time it's ever been me. He damn sure ain't doing it to defensive ends. And any Jag fan, I'm not Jag fan. Don't take my word for it. He's played you like 8 times.
Right. And you know what? And so what I said was maybe the environment, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like Jacksonville is a toxic environment, right? You know, y'all brought in Tim Tebow to try to play tight end. Your owner, I don't even know him and his son, have they gotten it together yet? You brought in Urban Meyer, who couldn't keep his hands to himself, and didn't even take the team plane back, decided that he wanted to stay up there. And I mean, Urban just. Why couldn't Urban, instead of getting caught like that, just use your online dating apps? Urban,
man, dog, you got Urban messed up, dog. Urban was trying to bring the next phase of the NFL is bringing the game to the women. All he was trying to show that young lady in that bar was how to take a proper snap. So it's only one way out of the eye. The game has gotten weak. Everybody's doing everything out of shotgun formation. How do we get up under center? And when you get up under center, like a lot of people don't realize this, you have to have that top hand. It's got to be right there. Boom, boom, boom. Right there. And the other one's here. And see, a lot of people want to do this, and then that's how you fumble the snap. But when you get your hands here and you boom, that lets you know. And if you see where his hands were, his fingers were where she, just to let her know he was ready to receive a snap. A snatch, a snap, whatever. He was ready to receive.
Hey, you know what? I ain't never heard about it explaining like that. That's good. But
I hate Urban, by the way. I think Urban's a terrible person.
Hey, I don't like Urban Meyer either. And I know, look, going all the way back to Florida, and I mean that may be why you don't like him, but
that's why I hate him.
Florida, and having that spreadsheet, that Excel spreadsheet of your players who all of them got in trouble. But as I digress, James, Cam Robinson was also injury prone when he was with Jacksonville, correct?
He needs to drink some milk. He needs to drink some milk, whole milk. I blame nut juice. These kids be drinking that damn almond milk and shit like that.
Yeah,
that's why their bones are broke. We had the campaign, drink milk, like had the milk mustache and all that other stuff. Our bones were strong.
Yeah,
he's okay. So also going into it, I talked with Big Leon Cersei, who covers the Jags as well. Played for the Jags, played for the Steelers, played for the Hurricanes. 3-time national champion, all pro. When you look at football players, right, there are builds that you want guys to have. Like even with me, I was a fullback, but if you look at my shoulder, I have very broad shoulders. Mm-hmm. So even when I get down to 250 again or whatever, well, that may not happen. But if I ever decide to start working out to get sexy, I'm still going to be a large mammal, right? Because my shoulders take up so much space. Go and you look at Cam. Cam doesn't have those broad shoulders that you would want to have on a lineman, so he's not a space eater. So even when he gets bigger, he still looks very slight of frame because of just the way it sits. So that going up against your 275-pound bulldozers that you're going to see in this league leads you to have to be able to either rely on your footwork more, which means you're going to have to get ran over slow, because you're not going to have that punch. You're not going to have the strength in the upper body. But again, that puts a lot of stress on your lower half. Also, again, no matter what the situation is, blocking requires you to use your hands. And if you don't have if you don't have the length in the arms, you're not, goddamn, your comments. Hey, man, please tell Tay to follow my show. Tay can comment on all of my shit. Yeah, I am saying that, Tay. He's built like a hoe. I like to read the comments, dog, and that shit just took me out.
Hold on, what Tay say?
I'm
Hey,
sorry,
Tay is
man.
hilarious, man.
Yes, Tay, I'm saying he's built like a hoe. I'm saying
I had
but
people really reading the comments. I'm like, okay, yeah, Tay be on it. But hey,
I-
James, but real quick though, so because I want to say it like this, right? Laramie Tunsil was a very good pass blocker. His run blocking was not good. And, you know, I've said this on multiple occasions that you can't pay him all of that money if you're not going to get both out of him, if you're not going to get the pass blocking and the run blocking out of him. Now, I understand that you want to protect your franchise quarterback, but, you know, if it's 3rd and 2, we really need to be running on your side because you are the Pro Bowler. You are the vet. You are, you know, you're supposed to be the guy of this line. And he wasn't great at run blocking, but so you get rid of him because of the contract. You say he's not a leader, but then you go out and you get a guy who pass blocks worse than Laramie and run blocks worse than Laramie. And then you bring him in and you're talking about, you know, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy. I just don't see it, James, because when I look, even I don't know if you got a chance to watch him in Minnesota. I went back and watched some of the games in Minnesota, and he didn't play like terrible in the beginning, but I don't know if you remember that game against the Rams when they lost in the wild card. Oh my goodness, he was getting hit.
Was he up against? I'll put it like this: if Jared Verse is in our division, Jared Verse eating on him.
Yeah,
and that's a rookie.
Yes,
like you saw what Jared Verse did with Buddy 77 for the Eagles. Like Jared is a bully.
Yeah,
and bullies bully. Like their bullies are consistent. Yes. And I'm trying to think who we have in our division. You don't have to worry about anybody really with Tennessee. You don't have to worry about anybody with Indy. But I will say this: if Trayvon, if he has to go up against Trayvon consistently, you're going to see him lose because Trayvon is a strong physical guy that's going to impose his will. And hold
on, James. I don't mean to cut you off, but hey, he got to go up against 2 dogs in training camp when he got to go up against Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. Well, they're going to let you know from the jump who he really is.
So hopefully Will Anderson is going to be like, you know what, this is my teammate, and I don't want to expose him too much. Because you are right, Will Anderson's a motherfucker.
Hey, Daniil too.
Yeah, but when I'm just sitting here thinking about the people that you're going to have to play, I just know he's not better than, again, and this is me being completely transparent and honest with the Jags. I'm no Jags homer. I am not a Jags fan.
Yeah.
I cover the Jags. It's a completely different thing.
Exactly.
The Jags aren't very good, but their defensive ends are actually the only reason I don't like Josh Allen is because I don't trust men with hyphenated names. Like any man with 2 last names, to quote say, that's got a little hole in there with me. But like they're fighting something. Like now, if as a grown man, you got to pick one. You either Hines or you Allen. Hines, Allen. No, I ain't finna do all that for you, bro. That's what women do when they're not sure if they want to like submit to. Whatever. That's another show topic for another show.
That's what Buzz and Petty. That's what Buzz and Petty.
Trayvon is actually really, really good, and those are the guys that are going to toss. But Josh Allen is fast, and I know you're not good against the pass rush like that when you're facing somebody that's more athletic than you, and you're not stronger than anybody else. So, like, if you're asking me if this is going, like, will you win the division? I would probably concede yes, but will you get out of the first round? Yeah. No. Like, that guy's not going to help you win a Super Bowl. That's not the missing. That's not, and I don't know if that's because the market just isn't that great. And I'll concede that, but I'm not gonna tell you that. Oh man, y'all got one. Shit, we fucked up letting that left tackle go. No, we were like cool. No, we could get a rookie and get the same thing out of him that we got. So we pay less money. I think that was the thought process when they let him go the first time.
And that's what I was saying. It's like, and like I said, I am not a guy who's not afraid to admit when he's wrong, because Cam Robinson could get here and because he's never made the Pro Bowl, but he can get here and he can get selected to the Pro Bowl. Hell, he might come here and working with Cole Popovich, the offensive line coach, the new offensive line coach, and the new offensive coordinator, Nick Caley. He could come here and the scheme that they build around him could change him and turn him to something totally different. But I'm giving my analysis as of March 20th, right now. And from what I've seen up to this point and going back and watching, and when you go, I said that I can't believe Nick Caserio went and said, hey, yeah, let me get the two worst offensive linemen that the Minnesota Vikings have. And that's Ed Ingram, who was benched after week 10. Let me get that guard. And then let me get Cam Robinson, who, even though I watched him play and I know what we were able to do to him, but then he went to Minnesota and, Kevin O'Connell helped him to become, better. So maybe if he gets here, he can be better. I just don't see it as a full replacement for a guy like Laramie Tunsil. And like I said, the money was too much. The Houston Texans was cash strapped, James. They needed, before the season, the new season started, they needed money. So they started making the moves. Nick Caserio said when we were at the combine that he was going to have some flexibility. And what they were able to do is they're able to get some cap space. What I can't understand is, why would you? I would rather them put Titus Howard at left tackle and then draft a guard, keep Blake Fisher at right tackle instead of going out and getting a Cam Robinson, who we is seen time and time again. Like, I can't name you like one of his best years, James. I think that I looked it up yesterday. They said that he played 5,665 snaps at left tackle. And in 4 seasons for the Jags, he ranked 19th, 29th, 16th, and 33rd in pass blocking, right? He was ranked the 9th worst run blocker in 2023. And last year, his pass blocking grade was 70.4, and his run blocking grade was 59.9. Not only that, these people are upset about Laramie Tunsil and his penalties. He gave up 13 penalties. So I don't understand why everybody is so excited.
Penalties either.
Huh?
That was a big thing with him too here with the penalties. I mean, I don't have a personal problem with him, so I hope he flourishes. I get as much money as you can. I just don't, just based upon what I've seen, and observed, it's just not going to happen for you. I mean, like I said, if
it's a 1-year deal.
You joked about in the intro is about the Anthony Richardson stuff, and I've known Anthony Richardson since he was 15. In fact, I introduced him to the quarterback coach that he ended up getting and that flourished and changed his life. I know his high school coach very well. Said, I like him. I'm so happy, but you can ask Denny. I was like, I don't see it. There is no way. But what I learned that year, and what I learned every year in the combine, and what I always tell people is, combine is like Vegas for normal people. Like Indy, what happens in Indy stays in Indy, but you'll get a chance to see personnel in an intimate and ask questions that you would never normally get to ask them on the stage. And what I learned is that is the hierarchy of coaches. NFL coaches think all college coaches are idiots.
Yeah.
College coaches think all high school coaches are idiots. High school coaches think all middle school coaches are idiots. And middle school coaches think all Pop Warner coaches are idiots. It's the hierarchy of this. You don't know what you can do with this person because, A, you may not have the resources or the time. And what happens is in the NFL, guys fall in love with traits and attributes. And if they meet what they want, that's what they like. And they believe that they are the missing link or the whisperer in which can change and unlock and get some of those things out. Now, the problem with it that in the NFL is the NFL stands for not for long.
Yep.
You don't get that much time. And are you willing to risk your career on traits and attributes that don't pan out? Because when you're right, you're going to look like a genius. But when you're wrong, you're going to look like an arrogant prick. And you're going to get yourself fired as well as a lot of other people. See the New York Giants GM. Hell, his son, the video went clear. His son literally told him, if you want, you only get this job once.
Yeah.
Get Jaden Daniels. His son also told him you need to re-sign Saquon. There's a lot of things that get told by people, but sometimes you gotta rely on what got you there. Yeah. And I think that might be one of the reasons why, again, he may be able to, it may be able to get unlocked out of him. But it's not there for every story of a guy unlocking his potential on his third contract. Yeah. There's probably tens of thousands of stories where guys just didn't get an opportunity because if you don't got it by your third contract, you ain't getting it. So
Yeah.
really by your second contract, you ain't getting it. So that would be my thought process in there. But with the draft coming up, because again, if it doesn't work for Cam at left tackle, you can't even fix it. He's not even a swing player. So he's not an offensive lineman that can go play right tackle for you, that can play guard or center. He is literally only that one position, and it's because of his frame. He's not very wide. So you can't bump him inside, because if you bump him inside, now you're weakening your interior. So you literally drafted a guy that has to work here. And and as you just stated, with all the snaps, there is absolutely no historical evidence that prove that he is that guy, that he is in fact that guy.
And that's the one thing that the Houston Texans had an issue with all last season. I mean, it's evident. We watched it. We talked about it. We reported it. It's like they have an interior offensive line issue, and maybe that's why they went out and got Cam Robinson, because Titus Howard is a swing tackle. Titus Howard has actually played every position on the line. Now, not in the NFL, but he has played throughout his career every position on the offensive line, up to and including tight end. Titus was a tight end. Titus was a quarterback. And so when they moved him from right tackle to guard, now tackle is his natural position, but he'll do whatever he needs to do for the team. And when he went to guard, the center, who was in his second year, Jared Patterson, said, Titus helped me so much, because Titus said, I used to play center and I used to play quarterback. So when I'm lined up, when I'm that close to the center, I already know what I'm looking for, or and to try to help him. And of course, Titus, when you move a guy 3 quarters into the season from the right tackle position, throw him in the left guard, and then you just expect him to be this great left guard. I mean, he got to get acclimated to playing there too. And so maybe that's what they're going to do, James. I don't know. I don't know what Nick Caserio is doing. He went out and he got Cam Robinson. He went out and he got Ed Ingram. He got Laken Tomlinson. I mean, he's bringing in these guys, and I know that they're like 1 year, 2 year type guys, and maybe that's something. Maybe that's just a filler until he is able to draft somebody. But like, the Houston Texans are on the clock, because they've already paid Derek Stingley Jr. Now they got to come back, and they're going to have to pay Will, and they're going to have to pay CJ. And so you got this limited time window. You can't say, all right, we're just going to do this for this year and then next year, because next year, the organization going to be like, hey, we're coming up on, we got to pay these guys. So with that being said, though, James, moving on, what did the Houston Texans get in Christian Kirk? I like Christian Kirk. Well, let me preface my statement by saying this. I'm a Christian Kirk fan. I watched him when he was at A&M. I watched him when he was at Arizona. I don't know if he was a good fit in Jacksonville, and then he got hurt, because he got hurt last season, if I'm not.
Yeah, it's just it's just injuries. Christian Kirk is so Christian Kirk originally was drafted for the wrong reasons. Okay. Christian Kirk is an elite not an elite. I should say elite. Elite gets tossed around too. Yeah. He is a really good number 2 wide receiver. He has never been asked to be a number 1, and asking him to be a number 1 is not right. He is a move the chain guy, but when he's healthy, I actually think that you find what the Jags finally got, they weren't able to do it. We needed Calvin Ridley again probably this year, but with Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Kirk, and Calvin Ridley, you would have had a better combination of 3 wide receivers. Brian Thomas Jr. keep the defense honest by making sure the safeties have to play back. Make sure you have to keep, if you're going to run 1 high, he's got to go with them, but it's probably going to keep you in 2 high. Christian Kirk is the guy that you can get, and with the Evan Ingram as well. You had the packages there, but he couldn't stay on the field, and there were times where I put more of the onus on Trevor. They talk about drops. If 1 wide receiver is dropping, then it's probably that 1 wide receiver. If everybody's dropping your passes, maybe you throw an uncatchable ball. That's just my thought process on it. They're paid to catch the ball. But if everybody's doing it, bro, we might need to look at the one common denominator in all of that. But I think if he comes in and he doesn't have, he's your second option, you're no more than 5 targets a game, I think he's going to provide success for you. But I think, I like that pickup more than any other former Jag pickups. One of them, and he's a former Nolan. I love the fact that he's getting paid, and I want him to keep getting paid. But when we play y'all, if y'all trot Ronald Darby out on that field, brother, it's like that's elder abuse. at this point. Like he can't do what like if you're running man, he can't do that anymore. He's too long in the tooth.
He's been in the league 11 years. He's 31 years old.
That's what I'm saying. In NFL years, he's 55.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a long time to be doing what he's done. But going back to Christian Kirk, like again, that's your secondary target, or even if you've got I know one of your guys is hurt, I think, correct?
Tank Dell's out for the season.
Yeah, so like if he needed to be like your second or even your third option, I think that's something that helps your young quarterback.
He plays outside and inside?
He plays both.
Okay. What is he more effective at, the outside or the inside?
This year we had him on the inside more than anything else. But I think and because of his size, he's just not a shifty slot anymore. Because again, he's aging, he's getting older. Yeah. But I don't think that was, like I said, it's not the end of the world type of thing. If you just needed somebody, again, you have at least some history of him being able to perform at a decent level. I think the problem when we brought him to Jacksonville and a lot of people jumped the gun is because he was productive in Arizona. He was productive because for years, who was the other wide? He always had another wide receiver who was that guy on the other side of him. And I think that's where the mess up happened is we had number one expectations for a guy that's never proven to us that he could be a number one wide receiver.
And playing the opposite side of Nico Collins, who's going to get a lot of the attention. You know, he always requires a lot of attention.
Right.
A guy who should have been an all-pro, but he missed 5 games due to injury. And so, you know, they need somebody they can put on the other side of him. And if they're not
if you had Nico and Tank,
yeah,
he just made your receiver core exponentially better.
Yeah.
But if you got Nico, who might miss a third of the season,
he ain't gonna miss no third of the season.
Man. I'm saying you just said he missed 5 games. I'm just saying
that was last year though, Jay. We talking about right now.
I'm just saying if that happens again and now Christian Kirk is your top wide receiver, all right, man. It might be so your boy gonna need to run around a little bit more.
Yeah.
So luckily your quarterback has got good legs right now. He's able to extend the pocket. He didn't do it as much last year, but the first year watching the Texans when you guys came to Jacksonville, it was frustrating from just a Jaguar perspective, but from a pure football perspective, watching how he was able to manipulate and maneuver the pocket, I was like, oh my God. I never wish seriously for somebody to get hurt because I know how, having played the game, that's messed up. But it's kind of like, man, can he just like tweak his hamstring or something for the rest of this game? Like, just get him off so we can finish doing what we needed to do. It was frustrating because I'm like, I got to see this for the next few years. And it's kind of tough, but I also happen to like your head coach. I want to see brothers. It's tough because he's a competitor now. I don't want him to win. But
not all brothers, right? Because it may be time for Mike Tomlin to hang it up. But we're going to talk about
that. They're trying to get him out of there. Yeah. Like the picks that they're making, they are going to. I hope Tomlin knows, hey man, I'm getting fired at the end of this year because they got. I call so you got the Splash Brothers that used to be in the Golden Skin Warriors with
you call them Golden Skin
the Golden Skin Warriors with what's Steph Curry and them. You got the Crash Out Brothers now. You got the Crash Out Brothers in Pittsburgh now. Them boys ain't looking to catch no passes. They just looking for contact. They looking to fight every play.
Hold on, James. Hold on. I propose this. Look, I said that if I'm the Texans, I'm just making a phone call to see what they want for George Pickens because he may be a guy who could be serviceable in a different environment. Maybe. I mean, because who wants to catch passes from they talking about let Russ cook. Russ done burned the kitchen at Waffle House like 4 times already.
You talking about Sierra husband?
Yeah, I call him Mr. Sierra. If we keep it
ever since Sierra did that prayer, his life has been in shambles from a football perspective. Like he's winning with money. I give him that, and yes, whatever. But he is not doing the football side has not been doing very well ever since Sierra's prayer hit the market. So like he needs some help.
But hold on, James.
Fields was doing fine.
Well, but hold on, James. So here's my thing too with George Pickens, though, right? So I'm like, what quarterback has he ever? He's never played with a quarterback like a CJ Stroud. He's never been in a locker room like the Houston Texans. Like they got a lot of issues. And hold on, James. We also know that there's just this stigma about Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers, man. Like Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers, Plaxico Burress, Antonio Brown. Like these guys have always had this issue. So I just think that it needs to be a change of scenery. But before you go, James, I'm gonna let you get back to your vacation. Before you go, because you brought up something, and I haven't gotten a chance to talk with you about this. And I said, even when I seen you, I said, I'm not gonna talk about it because I'm gonna wait because I need to get your natural reaction on camera. You talked about CJ running, you talked about CJ getting out of the pocket. James, in your opinion, the Aziz hit on Trevor Lawrence, dirty or not dirty?
Oh, dirty. But it's the game. Mm-hmm. You know that guy. That's not his first. That's not his first rodeo.
Yeah,
I see that guy coming. All right, I'm gonna get down because I know it's good. It's just like James Harrison back in the day. If I see him and he's anywhere near within the vicinity, he's going to try to knock my clock off, and that's just the truth.
Perfect.
And I don't mind. Like I don't mind it. But here's what I do mind. Let's not be badasses some days and then try to cry for justice the next day. You know why that flag was called on you. You know the type of player you are. That's what makes you a good player. We like that about you. So like, let's be real.
I got a different view. Now go ahead. I ain't gonna say
nothing. I was there when I saw it and I was in the box. I do, however, think that sometimes those things sound more scary than what they really are. Because when, like, I always tell people, the hardest hits that I've ever taken, you would have never known that I took those hits. It was they hit my soul. Like it's like when the pads hit, like they hit you. Like it ain't no when you hear all that noise, that's plastic hitting plastic, baby. That ain't a lot. That's just, it sounds scarier than what it is. But when you see and it looked like it should be hard. Perfect example. The hit that the boy died and came back to life from
Damar Hamlin.
It's a routine everyday hit, man. He just called him the right way.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing crazy about that hit.
Yeah.
But if you would have saw the kid's helmet go somewhere else and him flip around and do all this, you would have been like, oh, it was more theatrics to it because of the way he did it and the fact that Trevor was in his slide. And like, that's all I'm saying. But to be honest with you, like, if I'm Trevor, you should have got your ass down earlier. Things like that happen. It's football.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say, James, because so for me, right, and people will say that, well, you're biased, Sarge, because you talk to Aziz, in the locker room, whatever the case may be. No, even let me take that aspect out of it, right? Even if this was, because I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, right? I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. If that had been Dak Prescott and he'd have done what Trevor Lawrence done, I'd have been like, hey, bro, you've been playing quarterback your entire life. And this isn't the first time you've ever heard of Aziz Al-Shaair. You know that he hit.
But that's why he got fined, and that's why he got the penalty. What you just said. So we can take everything out of it. You know who this is, and he know who he is. That's why he got fined.
We got fined because he didn't leave the field in a timely manner. He got suspended because he didn't leave the field in a timely manner. If he'd have just did the hit and then walked off, they'd have probably just, they'd have fined him. They wouldn't have suspended him for the 3 games, or they maybe have suspended him 1 game. Here's my thing though, because James, there was other players that came out that has played against Jacksonville and said Trevor Lawrence does this all the time. He wants to be like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes does the exact same thing, right? Patrick Mahomes will, bait you in just so long and then let you right when he might stand there for a little bit and then try to jump out of bounds. Josh Allen does that a lot too. But Trevor,
this young man coming into the league right now, Cam Moore does it. And I firmly believe decapitate them.
Yeah.
Again, I was taught differently. So again, my mom told me never throw a stone and hide your hand. Know exactly who you are. You can do whatever you want to do in this world if you're okay with the consequences. And the problem is he know what he was doing, and we can't do it and then get mad at the consequences. We know that there's a potential I'll use this, and this is a more egregious example. There's times when a quarterback's been sacked and you're just bringing him down to the ground and they call roughing the penalty. You know the league is like that.
Yeah.
You know it's like that. So when you do something that looks worse than, because when you sack a quarterback, you got to take one of the pillows off my bed. You got to lay it down. You got to cover him up. Like if you know you can get a penalty if you don't
lullaby.
Yeah,
With
them single runs. If you don't do that well, you know you're going to get a penalty. If you and a quarterback's in the open field, that's what's going to happen. And I think it's wrong. I'll tell you this, the truth. I think it's wrong. I think it should be out of the rules. But the problem is too many tree-loving bunny huggers, too many of these people who are talking about them, some of the people, same people who kids will never be able to play or have never played this violent of a game, have had too much say. And they made these the rules. And people say they want the game to be safer. And in making the game safer, I personally believe you've made the game more dangerous. So don't blame me, blame them. And Trevor got his ass knocked out. Should have slid early.
Here's the thing, right? Because in Jacksonville, right, which has been dubbed Jack and Kill, there's some places that, and I can say that for pretty much any city, because in Houston, there's some places that you just don't go. You like, hey man, I'm good, even though I probably know these little dudes' daddies or granddaddies. I know to stay away from that because I ain't trying to become a statistic, right? There's places that in Jacksonville you don't go because you're not trying to become a statistic. And even though you are Mr. Jacksonville and everybody know you because of your philanthropy work and what you do in the community, you still be like, okay, you're cautious, right?
I don't go out east after 5 p.m. I ain't soft, I ain't scared, but I ain't stupid either.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to go nowhere to get robbed, where I can potentially get robbed because they don't know me yet. They got to go Google me sometimes.
And so that's my thing when it came to that whole Trevor Lawrence situation. Bro, you just came back from injury and you want to play tough guy? Mm-hmm. You want to play tough guy coming around the corner and, bro, like, just slide, man. Look, live to fight another day. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning would always say, hey, man, look, I'm not finna take no unnecessary hit. Look, Trevor, you ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. Y'all are already out of the playoffs, my guy. And so just slide, run out of bounds, whatever the case may be. When you see Azeez, getting ready to launch, and when you see him, because I'm going to tell you like this, James, I said this when it happened. I don't think that Trevor Lawrence thought that Azeez was that fast. So I don't think that Trevor Lawrence thought that he could close that distance as quickly as he did, and he closes that quickly, and he's violent when he closes that way. Now I wish Azeez would have exited the field. Of course, he didn't have to go through all that because now you're getting death threats. They're talking about your religion. They're talking about they're attacking you personally, whatever the case may be. I just feel like that Trevor Lawrence should have, from a quarterback's perspective, I know you're going to be protected, but now you're also putting your team, like you ain't got nothing to prove because y'all ain't playing for nothing. And I know, hey man, I'm going to play till the whistle blows and blah, 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 blah. Bro, how much money did they give him last year?
He's up in the, I think is he 50 a year now? He's one of the top paid quarterbacks. Too much.
Live fight another day. That's all I'm going to say.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
But as I always tell people, and this is the problem with America, is that not you per se, but like people can't understand that multiple things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
And what I see, again, to me, it's Azeez, like, brother, if he's practicing the Rami down right now, and he's about to go have a great meal. Yeah, but brother, you know what you know for, dog. Like, dude, come on. And I'm not mad at you for being known like that. My son plays defense. I want my son to play like that. Me and a famous Texan, one of my teammates, love him to death. Trap called me. Because they getting on Trap J. And people calling me, and one person's like, and he'd have thrown me in there. And he's like, cool, hey man, what you talking about? I'll come over there, visit my dog JC, and then come find me. I'm like, hey, whoa.
Hey, that's exactly.
But I am going to defend my brother. I am going to defend my brother Trap J. I just say, like, guys, we know, like, we know what this is about. Like, what it's like. It's just like Jarian Jones. Jarian Jones' ass shouldn't have ran on the field, but I get why he did it. If I feel you hit one of my players late and you popping off, I'm going to go pop off too. So, again, in all of that, as a guy who loves the camaraderie of football, loves the braggadocious, the big hits, that's what made me fall in love with this game, the NFL big hits and things like that. I also understand that, hey, shit happens. Like, another example, that same week, my son had a Pop Warner. We played our a local national championship game, and one of my son's teammates called a kid. It was clean. Kid got caught lacking on the sideline, dropped his ass, helmet popped off, everything. Their guys come off the sideline, push our guys. My son's team goes over there, pushes it. I'm sitting here like I go over there, talk to one of the coaches, really coming out there to make sure it doesn't get too much. But if we, as I told my son, I fight the adults, you fight the kids. All right, that's how this rolls. And so if I'm not gonna let my son get in no fight without his daddy, what kind of dad am I showing him that? So come out there with the understanding, but this is the smile of it. Once cooler heads prevail, that's what makes us. That's violent individuals play a civilized game that brings out violence. There's something wrong with us. No, you are taught to run 20 plus miles per hour into another individual trying to run 20 miles per hour, and it ain't gonna tip. Like, and you do that, and then you reset, and you do that again, and you reset, and you do that again. You have to be violent, and I love it. But then I also love the fact that at the end of the game, they all cooler heads prevail. Everybody does this, but I do hate the fact that, but that's social media. People send me threats and shit all the time, and I always escalate things. I escalate it quick. I tell them, hey, you want to fight? Because we can fight. Because then once I bring you here, there's nowhere else to go. I've already given you the offer in which you're talking. Now, if you say, man, no, I'm grown, I ain't gonna fight. Cool. Now we can come right back here, and now we can talk to each other like we have some sense. And that's kind of what happened on the football field. Everything went right here. People kind of got a little, we call it titty bumping, shuffling a little bit, and then they went right back here to where everybody started acting like
because they know that paycheck gonna be affected. Jay,
I tell you that much. You tapped me for $50,000 a couple times. The only thing I'll do is, again, I love James Harrison's quote: "Had I known I was going to be fined that much, I'd have hit him hard."
Exactly. Hey,
but again, I like Aziz. I'll be honest with you. I would love for him to be on the Jaguars. I like the way he plays. That hit right there, I just chop it up as it is what it is more than anything.
Yeah, he's a really good guy too, James. Look, man, I'm gonna let you get back to vacation, and then one, I want you to tell the people where they can find you first and find all your work. Then two, I want you to make a promise to the people that are watching now, all the supporters that are watching. Make the same promise to them that you've been making to me for 3 years, but I'm gonna make sure that we get this on wax. James, I want you to make sure that you're going to come back and we're going, and once the season starts, when training camp starts, we're going to do this AFC South show that we've been
doing. AFC, because you're right. I've seen too many old white men with bad opinions do an AFC South show. So I want to do an AFC South show. Yes, we do need to do this. Man, you see how quick you sent me that text message and I said what you want? Like, you want me to do it right now? So I go where I'm asked. I love you to death, brother. I love what you're doing. Follow them, especially following the career. I think we need more for the culture, if anything else. I get tired of even some of the guys who look like us that go on there. Our goal, I say, collectively, not me, you personally, is to try to fit in as opposed to stand out. I explain how a young black man or a young man could go and act in this as a guy who's been a young man who's done that. And I love the fact that, you don't shy away from some of the things that other people would just say a kid is wrong for. Even the Aziz hit. Like, again, I appreciate that kind of candor, because that kind of candor wasn't had when it was coming. Because even me, I said bullshit on some of the stuff that people were saying. Yeah. I'd hit his ass too. That's the first thing I said. I'd hit his ass too. If he did that to me. But James, so I think more of that. But we definitely need to do an AFC South show, and then we definitely need, when we're playing each other these 2 times a year, we definitely need to come on and just give great perspective. Because again, a lot of people, I'm listening to I'm reading my comments, and a lot of people don't know ball. And it's probably because of who they've been listening to. And I'm not blaming them. I blame their parents or however they were raised.
Let me tell you this real quickly. One thing is that I've been telling people this a long time. Like, now, sports radio ain't what it used to be. That ain't no shot at the people who are here locally. I don't say I'm cordial with a lot of them. I'm not friendly with a lot of them, maybe 1 or 2 of them, whatever the case may be. So I don't want nobody to clip this up and be like, look what Sarge was saying. But radio as a whole is dying out, and podcasts are taking over. And the thing that's happening now is the market for sports podcasts, especially pro football or college football podcast is being saturated because now everybody has a StreamYard account. Everybody got a LED light. Everybody got an iPhone. Everybody got a tripod. Everybody got a microphone. And, now people are just talking to go viral or to go viral or trying to be liked. I tell people all the time, Jane, I'm not finna argue with no ones and zeros, bro. If I don't know you personally and you don't like what I say, okay, we can be cordial. You can disagree with me, right? Because my opinion is my opinion, your opinion is your opinion. I respect it. I just disagree with it. We're not talking facts, we're talking opinions. But I'm not finna go back and forth with no one and zero. You're on an algorithm, my guy. You know what I can do? I can just block you, or I can block you and keep going, or just swipe down and I won't see your comment again, or I just go in and remove you because they got a feature now, James, that you can go in and unfriend people who friended you, even if you don't follow them. If they follow you and you don't follow them, you can go in and remove them as a friend. And I was like, oh, I like this. But James, let me tell you why I am the way that I am. Let me tell you why I ruffle a lot of feathers. Let me tell you why I piss a lot of people off. Because in my book that I have, right? In my book that's complete, that I just need to get published, I say people are as honest as their income will allow them to be. People are as honest as their income will allow them to be. James, I tell people all the time, look, I've never seen all seasons of The Sopranos. I've never seen all the seasons of The Wire. I've never seen all the seasons of Breaking Bad. Hell, I don't even know how Martin ended or The Fresh Prince. But James, I tell these people now, if I give up my credential from covering the Rockets, if I give up my credential from covering the Texans, you know what I can do? I could binge watch. The Sopranos. I could binge watch The Wire, and I'm gonna be good. That's why I can say what I want to say, and I don't have to conform to what y'all are doing because my check coming regardless. I'm gonna be good regardless. And if my check can't handle it, hey, I'm in love with a sugar mama, right? I got a wife who tells me all the time, if you don't want to do it, just don't do it. We good over here. So that's why I am the way that I am, and I don't get to listen to all this chatter. But then again, James, even if she wasn't like that, I don't care about being no janitor. I don't care about cleaning no toilets. I don't care about picking up no trash, because I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make my house better. And if that means leaving the media scene and going to have to go do what I need to do, I'm gonna do that. But people are only as honest as their income will allow them to be, and that's why you meet a lot of these sugar coaters. These oh my God, and blah blah blah. It's like, bro, that is not right. Laramie Tunsil was blah 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 blah. It's like, well, when the last time you talked to Laramie? Because I just talked to him. Like, and James, that's another thing, bro. Another thing that I don't understand is everybody who's outside of the locker room always want to have their opinions as facts. Like, bro, I ain't seen you at a practice. What are you talking about? How you know what's going on?
Practice, never been in the stadium. Nobody knows who you are. They'll tell you nobody knows who you are. And I'm always like, well, brother, you came to my page. I don't know who you are. Like, exactly. This clearly something I said was important enough for you to have to comment. And I appreciate that because I get paid. But I always tell people this: alcohol, tobacco, and firearms pay my bills.
Yeah.
So I got a liquor deal that gives me a check and free liquor. I smoke a lot of cigars and get paid a lot of money to smoke cigars. And I always tell people, like, we got really cool guns over here that we get paid for. I get paid to shoot. So, like, I'm probably out of all of the list, probably the last one you want to listen to if you're thin skinned, but I'm also probably the last one that you want to test. Like, I see some guys going doing all this because I could be drinking and smoking a cigar on my porch, and you come over here and you decide that you want to talk shit, and you're gonna meet you're gonna meet my Bible. That's why I call my pump shotgun, and she got a light on her. And the last thing you're gonna see when you hear that pump is this little light of mine. You're gonna hear that in the Mahalia Jackson concert that you're gonna be at once I shoot, because I'm accurate with the glasses or without them. Don't want that for nobody, but that's just like explaining to people they're recession-proof businesses too. I got paid more when the COVID hit. Because for some reason, everybody went to go buy alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
Right.
And I kept saying outlandish stuff, and all those people signed up for me, knowing that I say these different things. So I'm like, man, you can boycott me. You ain't got to press play. You ain't got to do nothing because the contract is signed. I said, I know how marketing contracts work. Them bitches don't pay me. They gonna get a letter from my attorney to say, nah, see, this thing right here says that you agreed to this and you're gonna pay this on this date. But all of that being said, man, like I said, it's a great thing. We do need to make sure we get the AFC South show done because I think it's a very interesting conference. It's terrible in terms of the grand scheme of things, but at the same time, a lot of noise has been made out of that conference once it gets cooking. But also, anybody who wants to come check me out, Den Media Group on YouTube, at Sports Den Live on IG. We chop it up in reels. We talk about a lot of different things. Right now, we talk a lot of, if you're an FSU or an ACC fan, we talk a lot about ACC football. We talk a lot about the NFL and just, again, a lot of topics. We just did you see the BBL, the March Madness, the BBL bracket?
I did not.
It came out. So we did a
wait, is that what you just said? Put on Twitter talking about this is why I think she's gonna win.
A lot of people don't know who Janice Hart is. I know who Janice Hart is. I'm terrified. I don't want to be in the same room as Janice Hart because I don't know if I can control myself. Like, the way she looked, like she's looking to your soul. And some of the things that she's done, man, I'm afraid. I ain't never been afraid, but I'm actively saying I'm afraid of Janice Hart. And they got her at 16, and she won our BBL Madness bracket. But we'll do stuff like that because we can. Like, there's no other reason to say it because we can. But we also, for those who just, again, anybody who subscribes, we do giveaways. Once we get to 7,000 subs, we're giving away $500 to a random listener of Big Games BS, $200 to a member. Once we get to 10,000, we do that every 1,000. Once we get to 10,000 subs, we will give away a pair of tickets to whatever your favorite team is, as long as it's not the University of Florida. But if you like the Texans, I will get you a pair of Texans season tickets. If you like the Jags, we'll do that. If you're an FSU fan, we already got them squared away where you can be able to get what you need to get with that. And our members, we do weekly college football pick 'em, weekly NFL pick 'em, where you can get paid $50 for just picking games. And we have a March Madness bracket, so whoever wins that gets $100. So $3.99 can get you $100 if you really know your sport, or you can keep winning. So there's no one-time winning. We are interactive and we do a ton of giveaways because I got Joe. We kind of I'm fully independent, so we make a decent amount of money over here for what we do. So we like to give it back.
Well, James, hey man, when you come back, right? When you come back, and I'm out. Invite me on your show. I'm gonna come on there, man. But when you come back, like I gotta talk to you. I gotta talk to you about Anthony Richardson, man, because you're very close to the situation. And I want to get your thoughts on Anthony Richardson when you come back on the show, man, because I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. And I just think, I got a lot of thoughts on Anthony Richardson. And because he plays in the AFC South, and because the Colts brought in Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah, they brought in Trevor Lawrence 2.0.
Huh?
Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence literally are the exact same person.
And so when you come back on the show, man, because I also know that you're close to the situation as far as everything that has to do like with Anthony Richardson. Can we talk about that? Because I want to talk to somebody who actually knows what they're talking about and not just using talking points that they got from Colts Wire or from Jordan Schultz or somebody. Which, by the way, before you go, how the hell did we miss the fight at Starbucks, bro?
So one, I don't go to that Starbucks when I'm in Indy because they don't sell nitro cold. I drink the same Starbucks. I don't play that shit. I want what I want. I went to the Starbucks in the Hyatt. They were at the Starbucks in the JW at the top of the escalators. That was there. And to be honest with you, man, like if them boys wanted to tussle, they would have tussled. They ain't want no tussle. There was a bunch of yelling and probably words like cut the malarkey. And I'll tell you, mister, shit like that. Like,
hey, bucko, watch yourself. You better watch yourself.
Wrong day, buddy. Like stuff like that. Like, man, if they wanted to fight, they would have fought. And Schultz is actually a decent sized individual. Shefty ain't really that big. Like, I was just more entertained. That was probably to me the most entertaining thing about this year's combine, because ain't nobody run and perform like that. It just probably was not the worst, because it wasn't bad. It just wasn't as exciting as the previous 2 years combine was.
Oh, and you also got to tell me about DJ playing his 8th year at Florida State, but that's another story for another time.
Man, he's gone, man. I'm so grateful that he's gone. He's doing his pro day this week. Back. No, he's not here.
He'll be back,
or work with his dad and go be a bouncer. Like,
hey, go be an agent for his little brother who's going to go top 7 in the NFL draft once he comes out of Oregon.
I always tell people you can tell the good child because the fathers love them more. Kind of like Deion. Like, we all know Deion doesn't like Shiloh. We know he loves Shadur. Like, Shadur's the son.
No, James. We're not gonna do this because I know you have a personal beef with Deion. Don't.
Hey, they got nothing to do with it. We know he don't like Shiloh, bro. He loves Shadur.
I know you have a personal beef with Deion, man.
I do. But he loves Shadur. Like, Shadur is his favorite son. He didn't talk to his daughter. Deion Jr. just takes pictures and has his name. But he loves Shadur, like, with a passion. Shiloh, you don't never hear him talk about it. Nobody talks about the sorry son. Like, and that's what DJU is doing. DJU's dad. You don't talk about he went when Florida State started stinking and his son was the reason. All you saw in this timeline was how good Oregon was.
Bro,
all he talking about was Oregon.
His son is a beast. And look, when you come on the Buzz and Petty podcast, we're gonna talk about that, James, because I always tell people, like, if you got multiple kids, you got a favorite child. There's no way around that. If you have multiple kids, you have a favorite child. You can lie and say I love them all the same. Hell no, I got 6 grandkids, and there's one that all the rest of them know. Yeah, she kind of up here. Right, she kind of up here because she was the first, and I spoiled her to death. And I'm like, I love all of them. I'm not gonna say I love all of them the same, James. That's all I'm saying. So I get what you're saying.
I tell my kids, my kids and my godkids are running around here. They all know Killer's my favorite, and Sky is my favorite goddaughter.
Yeah,
like, they're young. They think, but I mean, Trey got my name. My son got my name. Like, what else you want, son? You got my name.
Attitude.
And my attitude, you go around like you get to do everything. You were the firstborn. When I die, you get most of the stuff. Killer gives me squeezes and hugs, so I love him more right now than I like him. Actually, matter of fact, I really don't like my oldest son right now, because he's starting to get baritone in his voice. So everything he says to me sounds disrespectful, even if it's respectful, because his voice getting deeper. And I'm like, hey, you need to watch the tone, because you get some size on you. Like, he 5'2" right now.
He growing
so he's taller than his mama. He's smelling himself. Like, I told him, like, when I was your age, I was fighting grown men.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hit you with a cross and make you think about things for a little bit. My baby boy ain't dead yet, and then again, said Sky, and Vandy's a close second. But like my older one, Sanaa, she's becoming a woman now. She's like 14, baby girl. You go over there, we'll fuck people up over you. But like my younger goddaughters, those are my favorites. And then, like, my son, my baby boy.
I can't believe you did Shiloh like that, man.
Brother, nobody likes Shiloh.
Shiloh wasn't a bad.
His mama.
Shiloh was a defensive back, right? That was his daddy number.
Yeah, the one that always getting the penalties for trying to hit people, hitting after the whistle and shit like that.
He not bad though. Shiloh not bad. I mean, he could be a third. He could be like a third day pick. I'd take him like in the 6th or 7th round as a project, because pretty soon, look, one day the Deion gene's gonna have to kick in.
Nah, bro, that ain't kicking in. The one who's it. I will say this: I don't think Shadur is as good of a quarterback as everybody wants him, but I also don't think he's as bad as a quarterback as his critics make him.
Yeah,
I think like they're doing too much on the criticize, and like some of the stuff, I just be like, hey. Y'all, you don't want a confident quarterback? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, chill out with that.
That's why I want him to go to the Raiders.
Huh?
That's why I want him to go to the Raiders with Tom Brady.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, like, I don't know. He's going. I think the Cowboys might get him because he's going to go somewhere where he can get fired, where that coach can get fired quick, and then because Deion's only coaching one more year at college to prove all of us wrong and said he was only at college to be with his son. Like he's doing it out of spite.
I told people that. I'm like, yo, bro, Deion is going to the pro. Like, look, Colorado. Look, he went to Colorado because he needed another summer home. He loved the mountains. He loved the woods. And so, hey, man, well, I'm going to go to Colorado so I can have another home. But I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You know that country song?
I'm going to tell you that this is the truth. And yes. And I'll tell you, I'll tell your crew and Blessed and Petty the reason why I personally don't like Deion. And it's a fraternal issue. It's not an issue of if he was the greatest cornerback to ever play. Yes. It's not an issue of do I like his style of coaching or it has nothing to do with any of those things.
I know what it got to do.
It has everything to do. It's a Florida State thing. If you've never put on that garnet and gold, you wouldn't I said when I tell you it, you'll understand. And I'll never tell somebody else that they need to dislike him because that's not how I am. But what I will say is this, and this is why I say Shedeur is his favorite. Deion is the epitome, and they need to write a book. Tyler Perry needs to make a movie about it. It is the epitome of a black father's love for his son. He didn't do it for the other two. He did it for this one right here. He thought and he knew in his heart that his son was a starting quarterback at a Power 5 school. And what he did was he uprooted his life to prove to the world that his son was a quarterback that could be one of the best.
Deion played quarterback too, right? When he was younger.
I think he played some of everything in Fort Myers. But just look, when Shedeur came out, he was committed to FAU with Willie Taggart. He took him to an HBCU, and they won at an HBCU, along with Travis Hunter and other people. Then he left to go to Colorado, and he put his son in a position that people said his son wouldn't be able to do. Now, granted, that is what everybody blames LeBron for doing. Deion actually did. And now he's going to walk him into the league, but like he can't do it and then leave because everybody said he's going to hurt you, he's going to burn you just for this. And to be honest with you, as a black man, as a father, not black father, white father, doesn't matter. I applaud him for that. I ain't strong enough to do that for Trey. Trey either going to be good or he's not going to be good. But like, he did a lot of things to make sure his favorite son was good. Oh, and by the way, my other son, you can come along too if you want to. Like he kind of just drug Shiloh along and just.
Wait, hey Jay, wait, because you said he brought along his other son, and I immediately thought Travis Hunter.
Well, no, look again. If you don't believe it, Deion is on wax saying this. I love all these boys like my son, like as if they were my sons. And it was Travis, Shiloh, and somebody else. Like not as it. Shiloh is your son. You don't love him as it. That's what I'm saying, man. He don't like Shiloh. And people can get mad at me, but it is a lot of footage that shows that Shiloh is just an afterthought when it comes to the hierarchy of the kids. The only reason I say his daughter is his least favorite is because she picked the ex-wife.
Yeah,
that would be the only reason. But Shiloh might just be one step above her, Deion Jr., and then Travis Hunter, and then Shedeur.
Hey Jay, so what you're really saying is Deion Jr. is telling Shiloh, all right, man, so look, this is called a red camera. This is like one of the most expensive cameras out there. So what you want to do is you want to point and shoot. Now, you see the microphone, make sure that that's hooked up, and you always got to have this thing going all the time because he's going to be part of
when we do Shedeur's show, it's a 3-camera shot. So what you need to make sure you do is we want to have a red sign, and that red sign indicates where we need him to look at. So here in the middle, his good angle is here to his right, which is to your left. You make sure you run over there. You make sure the lighting is good. We want to make sure it's very, very bright.
Here's the passwords for the social media.
We use Dropbox. We upload all of our information into Dropbox. We need 3-4 reels done a day. Here's the editing software. We use CapCut. We use what's the thing? We use Opus.io. So where it can create the reels off of this and just makes it very streamlined. I'm going to show you the family business. That's what it's telling Philo.
Hey, Dad has gotten an endorsement deal for Shador for an AI company. So this is what we use to, write our articles about Shador because we're coming out with the newsletter now that Shador has went. You know what, James? You might have a point, man. Go and enjoy the rest of your vacation, man. And you made a promise to the people that we was gonna do an AFC South show, and I'm gonna hold you to that.
All right, man. Let me get training camp. We'll get at the end of the first week of training camp. That's what we'll shoot for.
Hey, look, I'm gonna talk with when I talk with I'm gonna talk with the Texans PR to see how I can maybe get a credential to come to a Jacksonville training camp, and we'll do a show from there as well.
Oh man, yeah. If you come out here live, man, just let me know.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be that hard. Actually,
I ain't going to the east side after 5 though, because you just said
we ain't going out east now. It's right around the corner from the stadium, but we ain't going out east when it's dark. Like again, it's good people, phenomenal people. But sometimes you just got to know, hey, I ain't where I'm at. It's not what. Listen, I ain't one of them. And it's cool, and there's nothing wrong with that. We will see them later.
All right, appreciate it, man.
All right, bro.
All right, later. Oh man, I hope y'all love. I hope y'all love that, man. James is one of the ones that he keeps it real. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. And I wanted to make sure that I got him on the show. I just hit him up. Hey, man, can you come on and talk about, Cam Robinson? Can you come on and talk about Christian Kirk? Because he's covered them their entire time that they've been with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, and you're talking about a guy, former NFL player who knows the game. You're talking about a college player who knows the game. And so, and especially from an offensive standpoint as well. And so I wanted to make sure that I did the best, did the best for you all by getting him on the show. And you can see, look at James' personality, man. James, and he'll never change either. James is like that all the time. But listen, in the comments, in the title, I said Texans happy hour, Jalen Pitre should be next. And I'm not going to, I got to get ready to get up off of here soon, but we ain't leaving here without talking about that. Well, we're not leaving here without talking about that, because I've been promising y'all this for 2 days, and we're going to talk about it. Listen, we know that Derek Stingley Jr. received that big contract. We've talked about that already. I mean, you've seen it's been all over social media. Derek did his press conference on Wednesday. And so, like I said, it isn't that time just yet for Will Anderson Jr. It isn't that time for CJ. And I just feel like the next person up should be Jalen Pitre. And a lot of people are not going to agree with that. A lot of people are not going to agree with Jalen Pitre being up next. But Jalen Pitre has been one of those people who has come in and just did everything that the team has asked him to do, including changing his position. But look, let me pull this up for y'all right quick. I mean, let's just look at what Jalen Pitre, has done, right? You see where he was selected. Set the franchise rookie record for most tackles in the game at 16 and is the only rookie to record 125 plus tackles and 5 interceptions in league history. Was the only NFL player to post at least 100 total tackles and 5 interceptions in 2022 and ranked third in NFL history amongst players to have posted at least 100 tackles and 5 interceptions in one season. Is the first Texan defensive back to record at least 100 solo tackles in their first 18 games. In 2024, started all 12 games he appeared in and recorded 65 tackles, 8 pass defenses, 6 tackles for losses, 1 interception, and 1 forced fumble. And so, and we seen what we seen what he was able to do once he was able to, finally get acclimated into playing in that nickel corner position. He got acclimated to playing in that nickel corner position, coming from the safety position. And there was times he did not look good. I mean, we all remember the third down play against Devontae Adams, when the Texans lost to the Jets on Halloween. They lost on Halloween, and some way, somehow, Jalen Pitre got matched up on Devontae Adams. And I will say this: look, is Jalen Pitre has to be held accountable because Devontae Adams was his man. But that also falls on D'Amico Ryans and Matt Burke, because when they seen that lineup, hey, call a timeout. Wait, whoa. We cannot have Jalen on Devontae Adams, knowing that that's who Aaron Rodgers is going to go to. We got everybody else covered, but if you put Devontae Adams in a slot, and now you got Jalen Pitre matched up on, there's a bad matchup, and the Jets did what exactly what they were supposed to do. They did exactly what they were supposed to do, and so we've seen that. But we've also seen Jalen Pitre have some big moments, some big moments this past season before he got injured, you know, and before he got hurt. I mean, I think that in the Packers game, the first defensive series for them when they were on the field, it was his pass deflection that got Neville Hewitt the interception, if I'm not mistaken. We've seen him come up big in a lot of these games. I think he came up big in the Dallas Cowboys game, if I'm not mistaken. But with that being said, like Jalen Pitre, he gives you that fourth linebacker option on the field. He gives you that fourth linebacker option, or if you're just playing with two, if you got Azeez and you got Henry toe to toe on the field together, when you got Jalen Pitre, he gives you that extra run support to he helps in run support, and he's not bad in short coverage, right? He's not bad in short coverage, and especially playing in that nickel corner position was something that he had did in high school, something that he had did in college, but when he came to the pros, he came in as a safety, right? And in his first, and I think he's going on his fourth. What is he drafted? What do we say? 2022. So he's going on his fourth season. But there was times that he didn't look good in the safety position, and when D'Amico Ryans decided to move him to the nickel corner position, I think that was something that benefited both. It benefited Jalen Pitre, and it benefited the Texans defense, because like I said, when you got three linebacker set, that gives you a fourth linebacker on the field. When you got two linebackers, there's been plenty of times that you can go back and look at film, and you'll see that Jalen Pitre is lined up with Azeez and with Henry toe like right there as well. And he's a guy who's not afraid to hit. Like he lives the swarm mentality. He has that swarm mentality. He is one of those ones that looks for smoke. He is one of those ones that looks for action, but he also wants to get better as in coverage as well. I tell this story all the time. I'll tell it again. Jalen Pitre in training camp was one of the last people to go to the podium. He was the last person that we got a chance to interview. And so by the time we got to him, because he was doing some after practice work, he came to the podium, he spoke, and then after he left the podium, Stephon Diggs was waiting there to talk with him, to tell him, hey man, let's go over these routes or this, that, and other. And he was showing Pitre how he can get better at covering this route. And Pitre was telling him some things that he noticed in practice, but Stephon Diggs waited for him, and Jalen Pitre was like, yo, I'm here. I'm listening. And so when you look at a player like that, you want a player on your team like that. Now, I don't think that the Houston Texans are going to break the bank by extending Jalen Pitre, but by the same token, I think that Jalen Pitre should be extended. I think that Jalen Pitre should be a part of this defense going forward for the next couple of years, because you got Derek Stingley Jr. locked up. You're going to get Kamari Lassiter locked up. You're going to get Kalen Bullock locked up. You're going to get your defensive front, your defensive front locked up. Like Jalen Pitre is an intricate part to making that defense go as well, because we seen what happened when he wasn't on the field. And he got hurt, and then Jimmy Ward got hurt, and now you're trying to find somebody to put in that position. Miles Bryant played that position a little bit in the Kansas City game when Jimmy Ward got hurt. Kamari Lassiter was put there for a while, and I think that a healthy Jalen Pitre coming into this year, knowing that he's going to play in that nickel corner position, having played it for 12 games, knowing now that solidified that this is my position because you got Kalen Bullock, you got CJ Gardner Johnson there, you got the safeties, lined up, and at sometimes you can still maybe use him, at the safety position in case of an emergency, you may be able to use him. But now him being able to get another year under his belt at working in that nickel corner position, him learning the route concepts, because a lot of what he was doing was he was learning on the job. He was learning on the job because it had been so long since he had played that position. And so I just feel and I just believe that he should be given a contract extension. Like I said, I don't think that the Texans are going to break the bank. I don't think that Jalen Pitre is looking for them to break the bank. I don't know if I don't believe that Jalen Pitre will give them a hometown discount. He wants, he wants what he's worth, which is what he should. I just feel like injuries has riddled has derailed his injuries has been played a huge part. Excuse me. The injury last year played a huge part in us not seeing Jalen Pitre finish what he started. So that's why I say, hey man, Jalen Pitre needs to be, he needs to be extended in my eyes. And so, there's a lot of people, like I said, I think AD, when I was on the shout out to the H-Town Rundown, they had me on their show on Wednesday night. And when I said that I was going to talk about this, when I said I was going to talk about Jalen Pitre being extended, they was like, no, I don't think Jalen Pitre, no. And I'm like, I'm cool. I mean, y'all know me. I don't mind being the only one with an opinion, with my opinion. I'm cool. I can row in this boat all day long. I ain't got to have no passengers. I'm cool. I'm cool on this boat by myself. I'm cool on having that opinion. And if you don't think, because you know what, I'm gonna give you an example. I always say, and I always tell people this, right? It's funny, but fan is short for fanatics. And so fanatics change their mind, change their opinion on a consistent basis. There's a lot of people who said what? Derek Stingley Jr. was a bad pick because he's injury prone. He'll never get, we wasted a pick. Hey, look, there's a lot of people who had to scrub their timelines once Derek Stingley was able to get back on the field. Matter of fact, the second half of last season, you had a lot of people having to go and scrub their timelines because they said that Derek Stingley Jr. wasn't never going to be this, that, and the other. And then this past season, they definitely had to go and make sure that everything, that all the Derek Stingley Jr. slander was taken off. And I kept telling him, hey man, this guy was the best cornerback the best cornerback in the nation as a freshman. He knows how to play ball. He just needs to stay on the field, but he knows how to play ball. The proof was in the pudding. Same way with Nico Collins. Oh man, we should get rid of Nico. Nico ain't gonna never be nothing. He always stays injured, this, that, and other. Then Nico goes and ball out, and then you gotta clear your and scrub your timelines. The problem is some of y'all ain't never had to live in an oven society. Let me say that again. Some of y'all ain't never had to live in an oven society. You lived in a George Foreman grill society. You lived in a microwave society. You've lived in an air fryer society, meaning that the way I grew up, you had to wait on the food to be cooked. So when we was having an oven meal, or when we was having an oven meal, or when the meal was being cooked, you had to wait on the food. I don't give a damn how hungry you are. I don't get your mama, your big mama, your aunties, they didn't care how hungry you were. Hey, get you a little snack and wait, because the food ain't gonna be ready until this. But nowadays, with the microwaves and the Foreman grills and the griddles and the air fryers, you can cook food like that instantaneously. Hey, I want my food like that. You never had to wait to eat. You never had to wait on your food to be cooked. You didn't have to wait. You just throw it in the microwave, put it on 2 minutes, and now you got a hot pocket. Or whatever the case may be, or whatever you got whatever it is you're going to eat. See, I come from an oven society. I come from a gas stove society. And I know they got gas stoves right now in certain places. People got gas stoves, but I'm talking about when there was no microwave, when there was no other way to get your food. I put it like this: when leftovers had to be heated up, so you still had to wait, like, for them to be heated up, not throw it in the microwave for a minute or two, and now it's ready, and then you just take it out and eat it. You want to warm something up, you got to wait for the oven to warm up, and then you got to put it in the oven, and then wait for it to get hot. A lot of y'all ain't never had to come for that, so you don't know how to wait. And so when you looked at Derek Stingley from the get-go, you couldn't wait on the meal to be cooked. When you looked at Nico Collins, you couldn't wait for the meal to be cooked. Hell, some of y'all looked at Henry To'oTo'o, and I was like, hey, you got to wait for the meal to be cooked. You have to wait for that. If you can't wait for the meal to be cooked, then of course you're going to come out with this guy's bad and that guy's bad and he's not this and he's not that and blase this and blase that. Oh, hey, look, Rockets. Jalen Green ain't going to never be nothing, blah, 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 blah. All he is now is helping his team take that next step and go number 2 seed in the West. Oh, we should get rid of Jalen Green. He ain't going to be this, that, and other. You have to wait. So when you start talking about people, like, let me put it like this. I told y'all, I don't really evaluate a quarterback till after year 3. I don't need it to be microwave or air fried in year 1. I'm going to wait for this meal to be cooked. And don't get me wrong now. Don't get me wrong. There's some exceptions to the rule. Some players you can just look at, some quarterbacks you can look at and you be like, yeah, you ain't got to wait for that one to finish cook. Like, you got to wait for it to finish cooking, but you already know what that meal going to be like. There's certain ones it's just that one. So I get that part. A lot of these rookies, I don't knock them, because I'm like, hey, you got to give them an opportunity to play. You got to give them an opportunity for the meal to be cooked. And so that's all I'm saying, especially when it comes to a player like Jalen Pitre. He has proven that he's willing to do whatever it's going to take for the team. He's proven that even with the position switch, he wasn't bad. He was effective in the time that he played that position. And so I feel like he should be extended. And it doesn't have to be tomorrow. Like, he probably would like for it to be this summer sometime. I'm pretty sure that his agent is working something out. And Jalen is local. Jalen is from Greater Houston, right? Jalen is from here. He ain't gone nowhere. Jalen is still here. He works out here. He lives here. He's from Houston. He's a Texans fan. He plays for the Texans. Like, he's homegrown. Just keep him at home. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to get up out of here, but y'all know how we do it. I got to read these comments. Marcus, hey, you ain't lying, Tay. You are not lying. Let me jump down here. Shiloh got no love in his shows. Travis gets more love than Shiloh. That's crazy, Brandon. That is crazy. White Mike Sr. Go to H-Town Rundown every Monday. Y'all ain't every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Don't lie, Mike. Don't lie. And Peach was just 5 or 6 yards back. Those plays don't happen because the D-line was in Rodgers' face like a foot away each time he released. Oh, Brandon, hold on. I'm going to leave that comment right there because I'm going to tell you this. It's so crazy because that play is one of the plays that if you bring it up to Henry To'oTo'o, he going to get so pissed off because he's like, Sarge, I was this close. He said if I could have just been able to get one more step, I would have been able to stop that play. Go back and look at that play. Go back and look at that play. Y'all know what? Y'all give me a second. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Y'all. Let me see if I can find it. Do 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 do. Regular season. What am I looking for? Here we go. Now let me see if I can find this play. Ba 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 ba. Here's the play. Ba 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 ba. Halle Berry, Halle Berry, Halle Berry. All right, y'all. Let me see if I can see it. Y'all give me a second. Yep, I think that's it. Yep. All right, y'all. Hold on, shucks, Sarge. What are you doing? All right, y'all. Let me share the screen with you real quick. Let me share my screen with you. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. All right, y'all can see, right? Blow this up. All right. Start to play from the beginning. First of all, this is a damn good play. This is a damn good defensive play. Look at what Henry did. Oh, man. Let me see if I can get it from the other angle. Y'all, this is a damn good defensive play. Y'all, I didn't really like I've looked at this play, but I'm looking at it this way. I'm like, God dang. Look at what Henry does. Henry takes out number 74, so Neville Hewitt can get up the field. And now Brees Hall, number 20, has to make a decision. Am I gonna take Henry or am I gonna get Neville Hewitt? See how Henry gets up the field, and this is what he says. He says he wished that he had just a little bit more time. You see? And this is why I say, if you're gonna run this, you've got to you've got to look. They was beat by alignment, so I'm calling timeout and I'm switching some things up because, like, when I see this and I know that that's Devontae Adams right there. Because what down is this? Third and something? But he brought the pressure and it almost got to Aaron. Oh, it's right here. My bad, y'all. So he right here, right? Look at it from a TV perspective. 3rd and 3. Texans down by 4. Right? So let me do it this way. Now y'all can see this side right here, right? So now you can watch it from right here too. See, when I'm seeing this, and so who is that? Eric Murray on the tight end. Kamari is 1-on-1. Derek is 1-on-1. Who is Derek 1-on-1 with? Hold on. Who's number 18 for them? He's 1-on-1 with Mike Williams. So what I'm probably would have done, and playing Monday morning quarterback is a whole lot different. But I'm like, I gotta find some way to put him on him. And I know it's 3rd and 3, and I'm willing to give up. I'm willing to give up the first down and to give up the touchdown. Because if you look, there's no way there's no way Jalen can stay with him. Going back looking at it, like I said, we're playing Monday morning quarterback right now. What I would have done was, hold on. What I would have done is I'd have probably at the snap of the ball, I would have probably dropped Jalen. I'd have told Jalen to drop in the flats here and pick up 18 and make Derek pick up Devontae Adams because now you're scheming it up. And once again, I'm going to say this over and over and over again because I want you all to know that playing Monday morning quarterback, going back and looking at it is something totally different. But if I'm here, if I'm going to play man here, if I'm going to play man here with over the top help with Kalen Bullock here on Garrett Wilson, and I know that I got Devontae Adams right here. I may give a man look right here. I may give the man look, and then I'm dropping back into zone because Derek can get here. Derek can get here. Derek from where he is, he can pick up Devontae and he can drop here. You give up the first down. Like I said, you go for it, and if you look at it from the sideline view, look at it from the sideline view. I don't like the fact that if you look at it right from the jump, Jalen is beat because he's flat footed. He's not even on his toes. I'm pretty sure that's something that they told him that you should have been on your toes. And at the snap of the ball, you still got enough room before pre-snap, you got enough room to drop back just a little bit more along the lines and still be able to play. Because you rather give up that first down than to give this up. Because there's no way Kalen can get over and help that quickly, especially not playing on this side of the hash. So yeah, you're right. You're right. If he'd have been just a little bit over, I think Bullock works on patching up those coverage holes in the offseason. Yep. What's going on? Yep. Congrats to HQ. And yeah, the Rockets got that 8-game winning streak. We're gonna talk about that on tomorrow's show. Well, not tomorrow's show. Probably I got to go to a funeral. Oh, excuse me. I got to go to a funeral in the Valley. So I may try to give a show. It may be a pre-recorded show that I put out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let Pitre play Chief for another year and then extend him. That makes sense too. All right. If Kalen is on that other hash, though, he disrupts that. Yeah, but if he's on that other hash, then they're going to Garrett Wilson. And he had already scored a touchdown in that game. Hold on for a second, y'all. I got to get up off here because I got to get ready to record. But let me see this. Let me see if I can find this. Because to me, this was atrocious. I'm gonna play. I hate this play. I hate this play because I feel like the Texans got cheated on this play. I feel like the Texans got cheated on this play.
Four-man rush. Rodgers to the end zone. And Wilson, can he one-handed and stay?
How are they giving him this catch? I still, Texans fans, y'all still should be mad about this.
Four-man rush. Rodgers.
Great coverage by Kamari. Just a better catch by Garrett.
To the
right?
end zone.
But he tapped the same damn foot. He tapped the same foot. That's not a catch. That happened later on in the season. No, matter of fact, that happened in the game. Wait, that happened in the game early on in the season, right? And they took the touchdown away or whatever the case may be. This is not a catch. And the league should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this to happen. Let's see if I can. And they reviewed this play. Look. They gave him the foot and the knee. You know what? I'm about to get up off here. Because I was at that game and I'm saying to myself, there's no possible way that could have been a touchdown. All right, Deborah. Y'all be easy. Hey, I'm gonna start a series here coming up soon, probably in April, called Digging in My Duffel Bag. And we're gonna go back and we're gonna look at some of the plays, some of the good, some of the bad, some of the ugly plays from the Houston Texans last season. We'll dissect some of the games. We'll dissect some of the plays. We're gonna go and we'll take a look at that, but it's gonna be digging in my duffel bag. Yeah, Mike, his foot and then his shin, but it was the same. It was the foot and then the shin on the same leg. That's not 2 feet. You can't double tap with the same leg. You can't double tap with the same leg and it be a completion. The NFL got that totally wrong. All right, y'all got to get up out of here because I got another obligation that's about to start. Sheesh. Make sure you subscribe to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show, Texans Happy Hour on YouTube at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because, you know, we do everything for the gram. And make sure you subscribe to the Locked On Texans podcast and to the Locked On Texans YouTube page. Big Sarge, I'm out.
Hard work.